Hi guys, it's Katie here from Bella Creativa, and this is the second video that I'm doing in this series where we're using this print and cut or printable templates in the sort of floral steampunk to make a mini album. So I'm making a 6-page mini album, and in the first video, which I'll put a link to, we made the cover and inserted the pages. So we've got 6 pocket pages, and each pocket page has got a side insert. You don't have to make pocket pages, you can make just single pages, and but I cover all that in the first video. So if you're here and you haven't seen the first video, you might want to go and check the first video out first. Yeah. Anyway, in this video we're going to take some of the pockets from some of the pockets and flips and bits and pieces from in the kit and put them on the pages. So these are just my suggested, some art page suggestions, but once you're at this stage, it's really easy for you to decide for yourself how you'd like to set it up. You might like to make it really convoluted and have lots of flips and lots of pockets, or you might just like to keep it really simple. So that's entirely up to you, but I'll just go through and give you some page ideas. So today I thought we'd do 3 page ideas. So I also covered this in the first video, but these are all the pages. So the first 12 pages are on here are base pages, and then we have belly bands and bottom pockets. We've got envelopes and 5-folder inserts, paper bags. We've got lots on side pockets and index cards and corner pockets, lots of pockets, slot pockets, the side insert, a trifold, all the things. There's 40 something pages. It includes the back pages that you can print on the back side, so that you don't have a blank page on the back of your pieces. So this is everything that I'm using. I'll try and remember to show you what I've cut out today, but I'll also put it in the description box if you need to refer to it, particularly about which pieces I've cut out and if I forget to mention it. So this can be done as a print and cut project on Cricut, or you can also do it just as a print it out and cut the pieces out by hand yourself, or maybe with your scan and cut. There's I've tried to make as many options available to everyone as I can. So it comes as a set of PNG files for Cricut, or some kind of software where you can upload SVGs or PNGs, and it also comes as a set of PDFs that you can print out. Let's stop talking and start making. So I've cut out some pieces for each page that I want to make. I just went and cut out every piece because I had to make sure that everything worked. So this is what I'm going to use for my first page, this front page, as soon as we open it up. So I really like the layered effect, so I have cut out this one here, which is the large flip, I think I've called it. Let's see if we can find it. The large flip pages here. So I've cut that out. I've also cut out the small flip page, which is that one there. And that is, I mean, it's just called something like small flip page there. Small flip page. Then I have got one of the bottom pockets. From bottom pockets 2, I've got one of the bottom pockets from the bottom pockets 1 page. I've got the slot pocket, which is from the page called slot pocket page, which is one of the last ones at the back here. Then I've got a corner pocket. The corner pockets are here. So every file or every page is a file, and it's called exactly what's on the page as a general rule. And then belly bands, so that's from the belly band page. And with your kit, you also get this printout, this little guide, so you can print this out yourself and keep it next to you and say, okay, what page might I want to cut out next or print out next, and you can see exactly which one you think would work with the project. So let's put this to the side. And what my plan is to use this large flip and this small flip and stack them up on the front like this. I like that stacked look on my first page. But I'm also going to put my slot pocket on here. So I've decided that with my small flip, I'm actually going to flip it over, and I've printed on the back just one of the watermark pages. And on this one I've printed on the back the watermark page as well. So I'm going to stack it like this, that way, but I need to, so then it opens up like that. So I need to cut this tab off. This one I'm going to leave opening this way, I think. So I'm going to cut that tab off. So I'm just going to put a pencil mark on the ones that I'm going to cut off, and then I'm going to grab my cutting board. You could use scissors if you're good at cutting straight. I can't even, oops, see, I nearly cut the wrong one off. That one is the one I'm cutting off. I can't cut straight even with a cutting board, so good luck to you if you use scissors. And so I'm just lining up that tab, that line, and I'm just going to trim that tab off. I can go over there, and then I'm doing the same with this one. Line it up somehow. So I've got my fan on because it's hot today. It's the air conditioner just on fan, but it's blowing hot, so I might have to go and turn it onto the cool. Okay, so I'll just pop that to the side. And then I just like to distress my edges a little bit with my distress ink. I use Gathered Twigs. You can use whatever you like. I need to put a new blade or something in my cutting board because it feels a bit rough. Oh, we will worry about that at a later time. So then I'm just going to put a little bit of ink around the edge. I'm not using a lot of ink. My ink pad's a bit dry, but that's okay. I don't mind because I don't want it to be really dark. And then I'll just do this one like so. So that's that one, and then I'm just going to do the same with this one. Oh, I've already done most of it. There you go. I do try to plan ahead a little bit where I can. Okay, so this will be my first one, and I'm going to put my slot pocket on there, just like that. So I'm using my art glitter glue, and I'm just going to put some glue. This is so good. Look, I don't have to mat it or anything. I've used these slot pockets for ages with a lot of my projects. But with some of the other projects, I leave it for you to mat with the paper you want, which is good too, but how easy is it just to go splat? It's all done. You can just pop it down nice and easily. I did unblock my glue before we started, but it seems like it doesn't want to play. So I'm just going to go all the way around the edge here. It's just the simplest way to put this on here. And I'm just going to make sure that I've got it the right way around. So I wanted this on the front and the picture on the back, and then I'm just going to pop this on here like this. Press that down. Oh, I got glue stuck to my finger. Okay. So then I could attach this to here, I think, straight away. On this, so this is going to open up, and I was thinking I might put the corner pocket on this page or not. I mean, we'll see how busy it is. We'll see. We'll just stick this on here for now. So I'm just going to line this up and glue it on here on this large flip page, just like that. that'll be fine. And so because we're not matting in the traditional way that we would mat, where the benefit of matting is that you can cover up your tags and things, we have to sort of think out of the box about how to avoid that being a problem. So if we stick that one down there and then open it up, I'm just going to grab my bone tool and just give it a press. So, you know, traditionally when we're making albums, then we would put a mat on top, but we already have the design, so we've got this tab sitting on top. So what we could do is we could put a strip of paper down there, decorative paper. We could put a piece of lace or fabric down there. But I've also in the kit provided these border strips, which I've made for this purpose. So we have a range of floral ones and also some ones with cogs and gears and things. So we can choose one of those to cover up that tab by just gluing it on like that. So I'm trying to think which one and we could just cover up the tab, or we could run it the whole length. Now I'm thinking I'm going to run it the whole length. So it's going to line it up with the top of my page and then flip it over and draw a little line there so I can see if that's about right. Just going to line that up there. That feels about right. Alright, so I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to use scissors because I'm going to go crazy. I'm just going to trim that off. Let's see how I went. Not bad. Okay, so then I'm just going to put a little bit of this distress ink along here. Along here. Now it cuts off halfway down, but I don't care. So we could glue this flat down, or we could just glue it around the edge and we could make it a little tuck spot. So I think I might do that. So I'm just going to put some glue on the top and then down the sides. We'll see how good of a tuck spot it will be. And then we can just pop this on here. Line it up at the top, line it up at the bottom. I might have made it a bit too long. Better too long than too short. Give it a press. Make sure that it's not interfering with this one turning over. Might just need a little cajoling into place. That seems pretty good. So then if we had something like an index card, we could just pop it in there like that. That's good. I like that. That saves putting a pocket on actually, which I quite like, because I was thinking about putting a pocket on here, but maybe I'll change my mind. Okay, now let's just see how I went here. I could trim just the minutest piece off here. That's good. A little bit of that one. So I'm thinking I was going to put a pocket on here, but I'm thinking maybe I won't. So let's have a look. This one now I want to stick onto this page. So this has got like a little strip down here. That's just to make it easier for it to lay flat when it starts to get a bit bulky. So we're not going to put anything right up against the spine. Anything that we're going to attach, let me take this line off, is just going to come up to this line along here. So this one here we can now attach to here like that. That's my plan. Okay, so we'll just do that. We'll just put some glue along here. Like so. And I'm just going to attach it to the page. And I'm going to bring it up a little bit, like so. press. And again, you can see we've got the tab, so we can think about ways to deal with that. But right now I don't want to put too much extra bulk in there, so I'm just going to use another one of my strips. And this time I might use my floral strip. It should be the length of my page. I shouldn't have to trim much off, maybe a scant little bit off the bottom. But we're going to just stick that one on there. So I will just once again run a little bit of ink along there. And this time we put that on here. I might put a pocket down the bottom. Let's see, we'll stick this one on flat. The other option, of course, is to put a side pocket on there, and then you wouldn't see the tab. Actually, we could have done that. Oh well. Oh well, too late now. Put this one here. Like so. And then it does probably stick out a bit at the bottom, but I'll sort that out later. So then you can see why I think these border strips are useful. On this page I was going to put the belly band, so let's do that. So for the belly band, I've just folded in my tabs at either end. I could run a little bit of, just taking the worst of the white off the edge, not that you can even see it. And then we're going to decide where we're going to put it. And I don't know, I could try doing some measuring to be a bit more precise. I've got a ruler and a pencil, and this is 14.5, so 7.25. This is centimetres I'm talking. 7.25 is about there, and 14.5, 7.25 is about there. We'll sort of roughly work that out. Now I think this is an inch wide, so I'm going to make this, I'm just going to do a little half an inch, tiny little half-inch tag mark on here. And I'm not sure how accurate that bottom one is. That looks pretty good, so I'm just going to put some glue on my tab and flip it back over and press it down. I'm trying to line it up with that mark that I made. I mean, it's not perfectly half, but it's better than being nowhere near it. Just wipe out that bit of glue. I need to find a tissue, or not a tissue, I've got this cloth which is too big, so I'll just quickly trim it down. I think it's just like a disposable, they came on a roll, disposable kind of a dishcloth. It's enormous. I don't actually like them as dishcloths, but they're good for this. Okay. Oh, it's really hot. Okay, so now I can wipe up my glue, which is probably dried by now because it's so hot. Okay. And then I'm going to pop this on here. And line it up about there like that. Ooh. This could have come down a little bit. Is it sticking over the edge there? Just try and flatten it out a bit. There we go. And then I'll just get rid of my little mark that I put in there. Alright, so that'll flatten down a little bit once we've filled up the book a little bit more, but also we've got plenty of room to put things underneath that. So we don't have anything on here or here, so but I don't know if I need to. I'm thinking out loud, sorry. My plan was to put one of the corner pockets on here, so I could do that. Definitely I will put a pocket on here, so that pocket seems good. So I'm just going to turn in those ends, put a bit of glue on here and here, press that down. I just like to do it like this because it makes it a little bit easier when you come to placing on the page if all your tabs are stuck together. So I cut my pieces out of 300 GSM cardstock, printed and cut it on those. My printer was doing okay with the 300 GSM, and then I went to print something out today and it said no, I do not want to do this. So I did have some arguments with it, but just do the best that you can with your printer. It doesn't have to be 300 GSM. Okay, so that's going to fit on there just. So let's do that. I might put a little bit of ink here. I don't know, it really matters. Put some glue on here. This is the best for not having to do any measuring. I love it. The only measuring I do is to sort of find the halfway mark to line things up, but I'm not having to measure every single piece that I cut out. Love that a lot. Okay, so I've got a little pocket there, that's cute, we can put something in there. I did print out just to show you some of the inserts. Where did I put them? Inserts, where are you? So these are some of the things you could put in pockets. There's index cards. I haven't decorated them, they're just, this is how they print, and I didn't even print them on the back, I don't think. So there's inserts that come in the project. There's just one little card at this stage that you can put in somewhere, or you could use it as something, you know, decorate the front or something. So that could go in one of these slot pockets or something like that. Oh, I forgot about that. There's a different type of index card with a rose on it. That could go there. Then there are numerous types of envelopes. So there's this envelope here. This type of envelope, oops, upside down. Looks like that. That's one of the envelopes. That's the same one. I cut out two of everything. I actually cut these out by hand, so I just printed it on paper, and then when I was watching TV I cut it out by hand. And there's this one, I printed on the back of it, and it's sort of floral on the back as well, which probably wouldn't have done on purpose, but there you go. So that's one of the envelopes. That's sort of a longer, narrow one. That's the same one. Then there's this one. I've also printed that one with a floral back. So that's this one here. This is printed on just plain copy paper. So if you printed this on nice, better quality paper, it definitely looked really nice. But anyway, I think it looks good. So there's that one. And I've printed a couple of those. But the other thing to remember is you might want to make an envelope out of different paper to what's in the pack, in the kit. So you can just use this as a template and lay it out and trace around it, lift it up and trace with your pencil where the folds are, and then cut it out of whatever paper you like. So if you want to do that, you know, don't forget that that's something that you can do. So there's those two the same. Then there's these paper bags that look like this. I actually printed on both sides because I couldn't decide which way I wanted it to be. So that's what the paper bag looks like, and then that just folds up like so. I've kind of done a couple of those. Then there's the tri-fold insert that looks like this. Cute little one, fits in the bag if you want it to. There's the file folder insert that looks like this, and I printed on just one of the other ones on one of the background pages on the back. And once again, you can make anything, you know, you don't have to use this kit to, you might want to put a different color or type of paper file folder. So just trace around it, lift it up, trace down the score line, cut it out, and score where that fold is, and you've got a file folder for the project that doesn't look like that. So that's some of the inserts that come with the kit. So you can put some of those in the pockets. I won't do that right now, but I just thought I'd show you. Side note. Okay, going back to this. So I think, do I want to put this here? So many decisions, why not? Alright, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. And then, oops, came undone. Oh. And then I'll put that here on this tiny little one. Cute. Let's give that a good press. So then I've got a pocket spare, because in the beginning I said to you I was going to put a pocket on this page, but I'm not now. But I could, let's just let's put an envelope in there. This might not have been the best choice because this is one of the bigger envelopes. No, not that one, one of the smaller ones. Maybe this one will fit. We can put this little envelope in here. There we go. Just pokes off the edge a bit, so that might not be the right choice either. Anyway, we could definitely put an index card in there. Alright. I would probably just make a photo mat and slide it in there, and then use all of the little bits of clip art that comes with it, and pop that on one of the pop that on a photo mat. There's so much clip art that comes with it, so there's lots of choices. Alright, so that's the first page done, and so we've got that side insert, so I'll just flip that over, and now I'm going to do the back of the page. There's a runaway butterfly, or flyaway butterfly. So for page 2, I just wanted to do a little opening page, so I had cut out some pieces already. I've got 2 of the larger pockets. Where did I put my... So this pocket comes facing this way, and then it also faces the other way, so that you can use it in a number of ways without it looking funny because it's upside down. But this is side pocket 1. Okay, so that's this one, and then this one here that I have is side pocket 3 mirrored. That's that one that I'm using here. So that's those 2. So these are our side pockets, and so we can fold these in and glue them down, and it will be a pocket. But I want it to be a flip that opens out for both of these. So I'm going to cut the tabs off the top and the bottom of each of those. So I'm going to grab my cutting board. I'm just going to line that tab up. I'm doing my best. And this way, harder this way, because that is not even. I'll try and line it up the top here. Don't know how good that is, but we'll give it a go. We can always fix it with scissors, you know, if it's not right. And then this one, those bits.
Get rid of my cutting board.
Now, I've already scored these and tabs and folded them over just to make life a bit easier. Make it a bit quicker for us. So then I just need to ink around the edges here, so I'll just quickly do some inking. These I've printed on the back with one of the watermark background pages. Okay, so I've just inked around these on the back there so that they don't look quite so, you know, white. Although I'm sort of embracing white a little bit in this design. So anyway, what I'm planning on doing is popping this one on this side so that it flips open, and then this one on this side so it flips open. So that's pretty easy. We can just put some glue on this tab and stick it down. Just pop that one here. I'm just going to pull that out so I don't glue it accidentally or accidentally get glue on it, because I've just had glue ooze out then. Okay. What did I do with my incy weensy bone tool? There we go. So if you did not cut straight and it's poking out over the edge, that's alright. Just grab your scissors and give it a little trim. No problem. I do it all the time. I'll have a look here. Not bad, not bad. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to put some glue on this tab. I've also printed on the back of this. I usually print on the back of these side pockets, even if I don't know if I'm going to use it as a pocket or a flip, just because it gives me options. But it's totally up to you what you decide to do. So then again, I'm putting that on here, but I'm lining it up with that. It's not flush against the spine, it's where just in line with the edge of that tab along there. And we'll give that a press here. I tell you what, 300 GSM is pretty thick. And press it down here. There we go. So then it looks like this. So back in the old days when I matted, I would have used magnets, but I'm not going to use magnets for this one. But I have these Velcro tabs, which I love more than magnets anyway. They're so much easier. You don't have to think ahead, and you can barely see them when they're on there. So I'm just going to, this size, my favourite size is 3/8 of an inch. So they're just a little bit smaller than a centimetre. I tend to put this one that's the most obvious. If you look at it, that's the hook one, I think, and this is the grippy one. I put this one on the inside where you can't see it, like that. And then this one, which is a little bit see-through, seems a bit more transparent, I put on here on this side. But I just stick it on here like so, and then flip it over and stick it down, and then open it up and get that bit of stuff off it. Something stuck to it, like a little bit of black something, bit of fluff. There we go. Okay, so you can't hardly see that, and it took a second. So I highly recommend these. Highly love them. Okay, now I can't get them back in here. There we go. So then if we open that up, you can see we've got the tab issue again. I could definitely use these again. What do you think? It does just mean that we have these on each side. How do we feel about that? or we could do a pocket. Let's find a pocket. Let's have a look at my little stash here and see if I've got a pocket. Now, did I have a plan for? I might use this one here. So we put that there and maybe have a pocket on that side. Oh, that's quite a lot. That's quite bulky. No, maybe not. Maybe we'll just use this. I mean, as I said, I could go and get some fabric, but I'm feeling lazy because it's hot and I can't be bothered. So I'm just going to use these. And by the time you put something on the page, I don't even think it will matter. So, but I'll make this side the side where you can slide something in, you know, like we did before. So I'll just put my glue around those 3 sides and I won't put it around the whole thing, and I'll pop that down. And I can tell that I'm going to have to trim a little bit off, but that's okay. Get that glue out. Just leave that to dry. Oh, there's glue everywhere. Okay, and then should I do the same? That's okay, you know, I can live with that. I'll stick this one down so that you can't put anything behind it. No, I won't. I'll leave it open. I'll live on the edge. Okay, so I'm doing exactly the same thing. Did not put any ink on there. Don't suppose it matters. Doesn't now. I'm going to pop that one down on here. So that is also open. Okay, so now I'm going to have to trim that, but I'm just going to wait till it's dry because I don't want to fluff around and get wet glue on my scissors. So then I'm just going to make sure that this closes up. And this one. And of course it will all sit down a lot better once it's been in there for a little while. So when I come back I'll just trim those little edges off. And that's page 2. So then my last page here, oh, we can pop that back in here. Okay. And my last page is one of these fancy edge sort of pages. I'll just pull that out for a minute, pop it at the back. So I find that you really can only do things on this side of a page like this because it's hard to stick things on that side, but that's just how I feel about the situation. So what I've done is I've printed out another one of the large flips, which is like what we used on the front here, that one there. And I'm actually going to flip it so that instead of that being the front, I'm going to have it as the back. And I've printed it onto one of the background pages so that I want it to flip like that, because I'm going to put a waterfall on here and so you won't see very much of it. So I need to cut off that tab, and so we'll get out my cutting board again. I'm going to line up this one again, see if I can, that looks really wonky. Must have been my cutting. Okay, I'm going to trim that one off. And then I didn't actually mean to print this print on here, but I'm working on the theory that it doesn't really matter. I was going to use one of those background pages, but my printer being difficult today with the 300 DSM paper, which is really weird because it wasn't so bad the other day. pulled the wrong piece of paper through and I didn't want to waste it, so I'm just going to work with it. So this is going to go on here like this, and I'm going to put a waterfall on top. So I've cut out lots of these pieces, waterfall pieces, okay, and they are, where's my little, this is here, the page called waterfall pieces. So I've just cut out that, I cut it out 5 or 6 times, but I'm not exactly sure how many pieces we're going to use, so we'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to stick these onto a piece of card. So I've got this piece of card here, and I've tried to cut it so it's the same size as my waterfall pieces like this. And then for each of these, I've printed on the back so that I have a pattern on the back as well as on the front, but that's up to you. And then I'm just going to, like if you've watched any of my projects before, all we do is add some glue onto the back of here, get glue on one, and then I'm going to line it up along the top here like this. And then just flip it over and make sure that it's stuck down really well. My little piece of paper might be a little bit long, so I'll have to trim it at the end. But then I'm just going to do the same with this next piece. I'm going to put some glue on the back of that tab. Glue is really thick and gluggy from the heat. Oop. And then we're going to leave it like this one and then butt the top of this one up against the bottom of that one, like so. Fold that over. I'm going to make sure that they line up this way and this way when I fold them over. You can see my paper's just a little bit long, but that's okay, I can trim it. And then we're just going to do the same thing, and I'm going to see how many I can comfortably feel happy with sitting on this page. So I'll just keep going and do that, and then I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I have decided that I'm going to use 9 of these waterfall pieces on here. It leaves me with a little bit space. I could probably manage 10, but I'm going to stick with 9. And so I just need to, when I flip all these over, I just need to cut along here to cut off the rest of this piece of card that I've stuck it to. So I'm just going to trim across there. And for me, I also need to trim down this side bit here because I've got just like the tiniest, like not even a millimetre. It's so annoying. Bit of card here. Can you still see it? And then I might just put a bit of ink on there in the hope that it sort of blends in with the side. Let's have a look. You can't actually see it when I flip them over like that. So that's good. And I'll just put a little bit here. And while I'm at it, I'll just put a bit down this side as well. Okay. I'm happy now. So this one here, I'm going to stick on this large insert, large flip page. So I'm just going to put it on there like that. Now, sometimes I might use a bit of ribbon to hold it all down. Should I do that? I just don't know. Just don't know. So it's not sitting flat now, but eventually it will, because it will, you know, those creases will become more pronounced and it will get squashed between the other pages. I will. Just 1 second, wait, I will see if I can find something that works. Alright, I'm back and I've decided I'm just going to go with my plain white seam binding because plain white works well enough in this album, and I wanted seam binding, and I don't know if I had another colour. So this is, I bought this. I just bought plain white and lots of it because you can stain it any colour you like. But in this instance, I'm just going to use it as white. So I'm just going to put it, glue it to the back here in the middle. Let's find the middle, because there's nothing worse than a wonky bit of seam binding. So this is about 11 centimeters, so let's say that this is about center, and then I'm just going to use my glue. You could use tape or whatever you like, but I've got glue right here. I'm just going to stick that down on there. And then, I'm not sure how long it needs to be. I'll just cut it off longer, and I can always use some of it for tags or something like that. So let's cut it off here. Makes it a bit easier to deal with. So then I want it to be sort of centered on my page. Right, so then I'm just going to put glue over this whole back section. And line this up. And I'm going to put it more towards the top than the bottom, and I'll show you why. There we go. So then, put that up there. Then I'll just make sure that it's stuck, flip each one of those over and make sure that that glue is sticking the whole thing down. All the way along there. Like so. Last one. Okay. So then I found this little one here, which is one of the sort of cut out pieces that you'll find in the kit. I'm not sure which page it's on, but you'll find it. And I'm going to use this. Which way does it go? Like that. Down the bottom here, and that's going to hold my seam binding for this side. So this is going to flip, oops, this is going to flip down like that. This is going to sit like that in there. Okay, and then we're going to have the seam binding poking out the bottom here. Alright, so flip that over, and it's going to go here. Alright, put a bit of glue there, stick that on there. And then put glue on the whole thing. This is just my solution for how I'm going to stick this bit on. You could do something else. This is just a suggestion. Now what's also really handy is this is going to show me where the center is. This, just looking at this line here, and I'm just going to bring it all the way down here. And then I can glue this on here. Like so. Like so. Is that straight? It's straight enough. So then we can tie it down here like this. So we'll trim this one off. I've made this way too long, but that's okay. I'll trim it in a minute. So then we can tie this together. This is just, I mean, you don't have to do it like this. This is just, you know, one way. It's always nice to have a bit of ribbon. There we go. And then look how much, lucky I've got lots of seam binding, and then I'll just trim that off like that. And I can use that for something else, so we'll put that to the side. Okay, so there is our waterfall, and then this we can put on our page. So I'm going to stick it glue it down to the edge here like this. Happy with that. So just put some glue on that tab. And I'm just going to guess sort of middle here, roughly, up a bit, that'll do. Okay, and give that a press. And what did I do with my forever looking for things? Flip that over. Press. There we go. Okay, so I'm not sure about what to do here, but I did have this pocket ready. I had a pocket ready somewhere. This one. Instead of putting, so I could put another one of those border strips on there. Put another one here. Put one of those on there, but this time I think I'll put a pocket on. So I've already gone ahead and scored the edges, tabs. So I'll just I'm just going to make sure that it fits okay. So happy with that. So then I can just do my gluing. So I'm just going to glue, whoops, I'll take the lid off. Just glue that to there and that to there for a second. This on here, and then I've got a side pocket and I can pop some photos and photo mats and little booklets and Rolodexes and envelopes of whatever I like. So I'm just going to cover up that tab with this pocket like so. Oh. Okay, I'll press this here. And that's that. Now, I'm wondering about, I've got this spare pocket. Should I put it on here? Not sure. I might leave it off for now. I'm quite happy with it as it is. And I might do something else here. I was thinking I could use maybe a piece of the clipper and use that as a little tuck spot or something like that. So I might leave that as another opportunity. So then I can put my side pocket back in here, my side insert back in this pocket page, and that's the first 3 pages done for today. So we did this first page, lots of places there, and then the second one we open it up here. And I was going to put a pocket in here, but I changed my mind and we just left this so that we could put something in here if we wanted to. I could get under there, like that. We can also do the same from this side if we want to. I just need to work it loose a little bit. So that's that one. And then we have the waterfall, which we just did, and when we flip it open, then we've got this side pocket here. So that is the first 3 pages. So thanks very much for joining me. In the next video I will try and come up with some ideas for what to do with some more of these pages, but I do appreciate you sticking with me for this long, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for your time. Bye for now. Bye.